They say some souls never rest, because the earth itself rejects their pain. Tonight, you'll hear the story of one such soul, a girl named Aradhiya who never left that cursed tree. Hello everyone, come with me once again into the world of the supernatural. Today's chilling experience was shared by Arjun, who faced something unexplainable when he was only 12 years old. Now he is 34, but what happened back then still haunts him like it happened yesterday. Our story begins in a small village near Sundargarh town, surrounded by silent hills and a calm flowing river. It was a beautiful place, peaceful yet mysterious. Arjun, a young boy of 12, had just moved there with his family. His father was a government employee who had been transferred to this remote area, where proper schooling barely existed. So, his parents sent him to live with his uncle Raghu, who stayed in Sundargarh and could look after his education. Raghu was unmarried, a man in his mid-30s, living a quiet life. When Arjun arrived, Raghu was overjoyed. He promised his brother he would care for the boy as his own and make sure he studied well. Life was simple, filled with laughter and warmth. After a few days, Arjun's admission was done at a decent school in town. The next morning as he walked to school, his eyes caught something unusual. On the other side of the path stood a girl in another school's uniform, near an old neem tree. She was staring at him quietly. Arjun looked back, a little curious, but then went on his way. That evening as he returned home, she was still standing under the same tree. This time her stillness felt strange. Arjun, being friendly by nature, walked up to her and asked who she was. The girl smiled faintly and said her name was Aradhiya. She told him she studied in a nearby village and came there often. Before they could talk more, Raghu arrived, calling Arjun home. As the boy left, he noticed Aradhiya still watching him, her eyes following him until he disappeared down the road. The next morning, Arjun saw her again, standing under that same neem tree. He was getting late, so he shouted from afar, "Don't you go to school? Why are you always standing here?" She didn't reply, only kept looking at him with those deep eyes. After school he found her there again. This time he walked closer and asked what she was doing at that tree every day. Aradhiya looked up and softly said, "Tomorrow is Sunday. Can we meet?" Arjun agreed instantly and promised to visit her the next morning. When Sunday came, he told Raghu he was going out with a friend. Raghu didn't mind, after all, it was common in villages for children to roam freely. Arjun took some chocolates and went to the neem tree. Aradhiya was already waiting. They sat and talked for hours. She told him that her parents had died long ago, and that the neem tree was planted by the three of them together. It was all she had left to remember them by. Listening to her, Arjun felt sympathy. He told her that from now on, he was her friend and she could always count on him. Aradhiya smiled, that faint, sad smile again. The next day she wasn't there. When Arjun went to school, something felt strange. The school looked the same, yet somehow older, darker, and broken. He stepped inside, confused, and as he reached the washroom, he heard screams. Two girls ran out, blood dripping from their noses, one vomiting violently before both collapsed lifeless on the floor. Arjun fainted in terror. When he woke up, he was lying in a crumbling, abandoned school building, half destroyed, covered in dust and spider webs. He ran home trembling and told Raghu everything. Raghu's face turned pale. He said, "That school has been closed for years. They tried to demolish it long ago. Nobody goes near it. How could you have been inside?" Then Raghu asked a question that made Arjun freeze. "Have you seen any girl around the village lately? A girl no one else has seen?" Arjun lied, saying no. But Raghu told him the villagers believed a girl's spirit roamed near that tree. She had died under mysterious circumstances. That night, Arjun couldn't sleep. His mind kept replaying everything. The next morning as he walked toward school, he saw Aradhiya again, standing under the same neem tree, calm and quiet. He approached her and asked, "People say you died years ago. Is that true?" Aradhiya looked into his eyes and said, "Yes. You're the only one who can see me. I was murdered here and I still don't know who did it." Her voice trembled with pain. She told him how she was a ninth-grade student, bullied by classmates. One day, two girls locked her inside the bathroom after hitting her head against the wall. When she regained consciousness, someone else entered, a man. She couldn't see his face clearly, but he assaulted her and left her there to die. Her body was found the next morning. The school principal covered everything up as an accident. The truth was buried and so was she. Tears rolled down Arjun's cheeks as he whispered, "How can I help you?" Aradhiya smiled painfully and said, "Only you can set me free." That night, Arjun dreamt of a dark forest and a small temple. Chanting voices echoed. A girl screamed. A knife flashed in a man's hand. He woke up drenched in sweat, only to see Aradhiya standing in the corner of his room, smiling. "Now you can see everything," she whispered. "Now you are mine." From that day on, Arjun's behavior changed. He stopped speaking much, spent hours near the tree and acted distant. Raghu noticed everything. He tried asking, but Arjun only said Aradhiya needed him. Raghu grew terrified. He spoke to the village elders and learned of an old tantric site deep in the forest, a place once used for human sacrifice. Years ago, a ritual there had gone wrong. The girl who was to be sacrificed, Aradhiya, had died before the ritual was completed. Her spirit became trapped between worlds, neither human nor demon, endlessly searching for release. Raghu met an old spiritual master who told him that to break the bond, a reverse ritual must be performed, a Vilom Anushtan. But it had to be done before the next death phase just 2 nights away. On that night, Arjun left home in a trance, walking straight into the forest. Raghu and the tantric followed him quietly. The deeper they went, the darker it became. Finally, they reached a clearing surrounded by towering trees. In the middle stood a broken altar, rusted iron rods marking its corners. Arjun stepped into the center and fell to his knees, clutching his head. His mind filled with flashes, Aradhiya tied to a tree, 3 men chanting, her terrified face, the blade falling, the fire rising, and then, the rain that stopped everything midway. Raghu held him tight as the tantric began chanting ancient mantras. The wind roared, trees bent, and the air turned heavy. Suddenly, Aradhiya appeared in her true form, face twisted, eyes black, her smile filled with centuries of rage. "This body is mine," she screamed. The tantric continued chanting louder and louder until the fire blazed high. The symbols on the ground glowed. Arjun trembled violently, screaming as a dark shadow ripped out of him and vanished into the smoke. Then silence. The wind stopped. The fire dimmed. Rain began to fall softly over the altar. The tantric sighed with exhaustion and whispered, "She is gone, forever." Raghu looked down at Arjun, unconscious but breathing. The nightmare was finally over. But deep inside, Raghu knew one thing. Some stories never truly end. They just wait for the next soul to listen.